Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well. So without wasting any time, let's move to the newspaper. First we will identify the important news and then we'll move on to the analysis section. So this is Wednesday, May 4, 2022, the Hindu daily edition. As usual, we'll be first identifying the most important news followed by the detailed analysis of the same, right? So let's move further. Okay, Denmark to strengthen green strategic partnership, fine. Communal violence break in Jodhpur not required, record death road not required, government not required. April export crosses 38 billion, deficit widens. Okay, so these are two different things here. So although exports have crossed 38 billion mark, right, still the deficit has widened because of increase in imports, right? So this is the news. Okay, fine, let's see. Okay, so there are no other news on page 1. Let's see on page 2. There is nothing out here. In defacement cases info not required. LIC IPO not of our news now. Okay, we'll be doing this from nutrition to traditional wisdom, right? We'll see what this article is all about. It seems a promising article. Okay, there doesn't seems, no, here is nothing else here. Okay, there is nothing out here, right? Bill assent a delay and governor's option not required. Okay, the court board and national body may be better place to plan. Okay, we'll do this because it is related to judicial reforms, right? This is in our syllabus, right? So we'll be doing this. Let's see if anything else is there. Not required. This Twitter thing not required. Vaccination policy, it's fine. Turkish foreign policy not required. Joblessness on rise in India, we'll see it very briefly because yesterday only CIME report has come about the unemployment in India. It's about 13.3%, I think, right? So I think it will be based on that only. We'll see how it goes. Okay, fine, there's nothing else here. Text and context in hot mess, give it a read. It's just the extension of 2-3 days back news that India and world is experiencing increased climate, increased temperatures, and this may be a result of climate change, right? And will be lapses, how two teenagers have the big tech firm. Okay, we'll be doing this. First we'll do the gist, if required we'll go on to read the article, right? Because it gives us a perspective on cyber security issues, right? Okay, SC do not decide to defer political entities of officer not required. Government 6 more time is not required. This news is there. Minor seeks permission to donate liver, right? So minor people needs permission, okay, of the High Court. Fine. So you just know this. It's not that much important news, but just know that. Okay. Fine. There is nothing else. To get a new office at WTC building. Okay. 3 workers die in blast. Do not required. India and okay, greeted by metification. Okay. India Denmark to strengthen green strategic partnership. Modi invokes FOMO to draw the investors. We'll see this. What is this FOMO? I don't know. We'll have to see. And yes, we are expecting this green strategic partnership and all those things will be there. Just know this thing. Wait for an article in the editorial page. That would give us a better perspective, right? Green hydrogen renewables. Yes, we were knowing that these things will be there. At this point of time, we also have a what we say. We also have a MOU on medicine with Denmark, right? So ongoing is medicine, and along with that we will be focusing now on green energy as well, right? And let's see if anything else is there. There is nothing else here. No important news here. Recorded death like 81. No. India is official country to honor Atkins. Okay, fine. India slips to 115 press freedom index. Okay, we'll see. 1000 joint China. Okay, Dean's veto not required. India extends more aid to Sri Lanka. Okay. Slovakia wants to be left out of embargo on oil. Israel backing not required. Al Sajid will not required. And there is nothing else here. Okay, on the economy page, telco urged big cut in 5G spectrum price, sites viability. Okay, We'll see. Let the news unfold more. Okay, from anchor investor. Just know what is this anchor investors, right? What is anchor investor? What is angel investors, right? You have to know these things because these are technical terms related to your economy section, right? From Paul, call for ban on cotton exportation. No, not required. Not required here. Now we are on the sports page as usual. I don't expect much news here related to our examination, right? Okay, who won the Santosh Trophy? Mamalapuram in the tournament. Okay. Okay. Okay, so okay, with this we come to end of news identification, and let us go directly to news analysis, right? So as I said, this is our first news. April export crosses 38 billion deficit widened. In the last month, exports have also crossed 40 billion, right? Where we said that yes, we are doing good. Outbound shipment slips 9.5% from March level. Okay, let's see if we have something. India merchandise export rose by 24% year on year from 38 billion in April, which import outpaced them by increasing 20. Okay, import has become 58 billion and export is near about 38 billion. So import minus export, what is our balance of payment liabilities? It is, that is 38 to 50, 20 billion. Okay, so we are under debt of 20 billion, right? Just know this trade deficit is about 20 billion. Fine. Okay, gold imports fell by and all those things are there. Dividend is not required that much. Just know the data that we are about 40 billion. We are exporting how much? 40 billion merchandise, right? And importing how much? 60 billion merchandise, right? So the net trade deficit is 20 billion. Okay, so let's go on to the next news. There was a news on, I think, third page now. Let's see. On fourth page we had a news somewhere. Yes, from nutritional to traditional wisdom, Maharashtra Gene Bank. Okay, Gene Bank project, so I think it will be related to seed. Let's see, is about using science to secure future. First of its kind Gene Bank project in Maharashtra, which received the approval of state cabinet last week to be implemented across the state, has potential to use modern scientific methodology to separate the shaft from grain. Yes, I was correct. From massive pool of traditional Indian wisdom, it can also scout and introduce crop cultivators and livestock breeds for better adaptation of climate change and viability. Okay. Community driven practices and conservation of biodiversity, which is the requirement of today, right? Contemporary requirement it is, said the executive. Okay, fine. It was initially sanctioned for 5 years and all those things. The uniqueness of project lies in the fact that it brought together several grassroots workers. Okay, what is the uniqueness of project? That is brought together several grassroots workers and social scientists, marginalized community together, okay, achieving a common goal of conservation of biodiversity. Okay, so it has brought together almost all the stakeholders using the modern scientific methodology to separate the shaft from grain. From massive pool of traditional Indian wisdom has been significant achievement. The product could help document vast traditional knowledge resources of local community. It will help in scouting and introduction of crop cultivators and livestock breeds for better adaptation of climate change and okay, so it will help in what? It will help in to increase climate change resilience, right? Fine. Demonstrating solutions to ensure food and creating a model for community-led conservation in India. Okay, community-led conservation practices in India. This is a good keyword. Write it down. Okay. Seven major thematic areas of project. So this could be one of the things that you can derive from this. Okay, is X to conservation of marine biodiversity, on-farm conservation of crop genetic diversity, on-farm conservation of livestock genetic diversity, conservation and sustainable use of indigenous fish and fish diversity in selected water bodies, conservation of grassland and savanna biodiversity, eco-restoration and community forest restoration, restored land employing a diversity of life sustaining and economic plant species and participatory management of relevant information. Okay, so these things are there. Fine. So these are the 7 thematic area of their utility or their expertise, right? The Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission has invited Dr. Madhav Gadgil to prepare a program in the year 2006. Okay, so we know about Dr. Madhav Gadgil. Okay, the same person who has also recommended for Western Ghats, right? And we also know that Western Ghats flows through this Maharashtra as well. Okay, so it's a good article. Make some notes out of it. It will benefit you, right? So we have to do only one editorial, right? So we'll be doing the editorial right now only. Okay, let's see the court's burden. A national body may be better placed to plan upgradation of judicial infrastructure. Why it is saying that? Look, the main problem with judiciary is the lagging of court, right? There is a lot of pendency of cases, right? So what judiciary need to do? Judiciary now need to do what? It need to resolve this challenge. And what is needed to resolve this challenge? This will require time, increased time plus decrease procedural harassments, right? And anachronistic procedures. Okay, if these are decreased, then what will happen? Net efficiency would increase, and this will lead to what? Increase and efficient disposal of cases. So this is the thing. But what happens now? Due to upgradation things, right? For judicial upgradation also Supreme Court is itself deciding. So this led to what? Decreased time, but significant amount of time gets reduced / consumed, which is consumed in deciding infra related matters, right? This is the problem. So to decrease this thing, we need a body. The article says this. Okay, it is unfortunate that proposed CGI of India, that the proposal by CGI of India for National Judicial Infrastructure Corporation, which corresponding body at state level, did not find favor with many chief ministers at recent joint conference of Chief Justice and Chief Minister. Okay, it is unfortunate. Yes, in many ways it is unfortunate. A special purpose vehicle SPV vested with statutory power to plan and implement a structure projected for the judiciary would have been immensely helpful in augmenting facilities for judiciary given the inadequacies in court complexes across the country. Okay. However, it is a matter of relief that there was an agreement on the idea of state level bodies for some purpose with representation to the chief minister so that they are fully involved in implementation. The CJI, who had mooted the proposal for some month ago, sought to dispel the impression that a national body would usurp the power of the executive and underscore that it could have adequate representation of state and union. He had flagged the gulf between the available infrastructure and the justice needs of the people. If his proposal been accepted, the available funding as a central responsibility scheme with central and state sharing burden of 60-40 could have been gone to the national authority, which would allocate the fund through high court based on need. It is likely that CM did not favor the idea as they wanted greater say in the matter. Okay. Given the experience of allocated funds for judicial infrastructure going unspent in many states, it remains to be seen that how the proposal of state level bodies would be successful in identifying the need and speeding up the implementation. It will naturally require a greater coordination between state and representatives. High Court. Union Law Minister has promised assistance from the center to the state creating the required infrastructure, especially for the lower judiciary. While it is a welcoming sign that focus of infrastructure, unmitigated pendency, chronic shortage of judges after borrowing docket size remains major challenge. CGI flagged some of the aspect of government contribution to the burden of the judiciary. The failure or unwillingness to implement court orders, leaving crucial questions to be decided by courts, and absence of forethought and broad-based consultations before passing legislation. While this may be unpalatable to the executive, it is quite true that litigation spawned by the government action or inaction constitute huge part of court case burden. The conversion between judiciary and executive, the conversation between judiciary and executive at level of chief minister and chief ministers may help bring out the atmosphere of cooperation so that judicial appointment, infrastructure upgradation, and downsizing of pendency can be seen as common concerns, right? So it is saying the same thing, that to reduce pendency of cases we need time, and one more thing I didn't mention here, that one of the major party to majority of cases, which is the one party, that is government is one party to majority of cases, and it is the delay in government response also that causes the unwarranted delays, right? So this is there in this article. It's just a thought giving article. Give it a thought and try to incorporate in the answers, right? And there is nothing else on this page, so we move to the next one. Let me zoom out first. Okay, so let's see. Joblessness is on the rise in India. Let's see what is there. India is in the throes of widening joblessness crisis, and misinformation does not help. Fine. So two things it will be trying to address, as it seems. One is this misinformation thing, and another is this joblessness crisis. Now let's see what kind of misinformation it is. Is it the misinformation about joblessness, that India do not have joblessness, or is it the misinformation about joblessness and its impacts, right? So let's see very briefly. Many years of refusing to recognize there is a job crisis in India, the government of India, faced with relentless data to the contrary, has now resorted to misinformation. Okay, so I thought the first argument it has taken, that government has resorted now to misinformation. Okay, two pieces. Here's why it's not V and it's V and not K. March 3, Times of India, and a hazy picture of employment in India in the Hindu are cases pointing examined here. Regrettably, both pieces show an inadequacy in understanding the job situation. Fair enough. Look, it is true we are in a K-shaped recovery model, right? It's not why here why it's V and not K means why the government is saying the recovery is V-shaped, right? And actual recovery is K-shaped. Okay, it is depending more on sectors, right? And the hazy picture of unemployment in India. So it is saying that both these articles were not able to properly examine the situation. Okay, compared to 8% per annum GDP growth in period 2004 to 14 and 7.5 million new farm jobs created each year over 5 to 12. Okay, the number of new non-farm jobs generated between 13 to 19 was only 2.9 millions. Fair enough. So at compared to 7.5 million, it is 2.9 million, with at least 5 millions were joining the labor force annually. So it is almost 60% less, right? The NSO itself states clearly that two surveys provide comparable data. The claims that two surveys are not comparable is not correct. Okay, so one of the PLFS and this NSO's data, right? Okay, unpaid family labor, yes, it is a problem. It is not a problem exactly. It is a challenge that we have to see, because family labor is, yes, it is unpaid. Okay, in 17, 18 and 1920 the WPR and LFPR was rising, showing improvement in labor market. The next question is, how come these rates were rising exactly when the economy was slowing down sharply from 17 to 20? The reality is that this rise in WPR and LFPR is misleading. It was caused mostly by increasing unpaid family labor, mostly by women. Okay, the claims that manufacturing employment increased by 1.8 million is correct. Okay, what this ignores is that between 11, 12 and 17, 18 manufacturing employment fell in absolute term by 3 million. So a recovery is hardly any consolidation. Okay, manufacturing as a share of GDP fell from 17% to 15% and then to 13% in 2020 despite Make in India. Fine. Meanwhile, another argument offered is that GDP in 2022 could not have returned to pre-COVID 20 level without workers returning to work and MSME recovering too. Clearly, this failed to recognize that organized economic activity could not recover without a corresponding increase in unorganized activity, thus cancelling each other out and still leave the jobless without work or even less work. Second, a fall in urban employment in July 2020 to January-March 2021 has now been reversed, with urban unemployment rate rising in April to June 2021 back to mid 2020 level. The labor force participation falling again. This is a K-shaped recovery. Yes, this is a K-shaped recovery. As I said, like this, right? Something is rising and another thing is falling. Okay, so one thing is rising and another thing is falling. What is rising? Urban unemployment rate, okay, is rising and LFPR is falling. So look, it is a type of K, right? In any case, author provides no evidence that MSMEs that provides most of the non-farm employment have recovered from pre-COVID level. Meanwhile, here is an evidence. The consortium of Indian Association CIA conducted a survey over 81,000 micro businesses across India in June 2021, 2 months after the second wave was over. Of them, 59% reduced their staff compared to pre-COVID level. 88% respondent had not availed any government stimulus package. 28% reported that they were unable to get payment due to their customers from private and government. 64% reported banks were not giving loans. Fair enough. So this is the proof they are giving that yes, there has been a kind of K-shaped recovery and it is not B. Farm unemployment, in any case, recovery of urban unemployment in March 2021 clearly ignores the ignores that urban employment barely captures third of the total employment. Beside agriculture output may have performed well during COVID-19 and free rations may have alleviated acute distress. This completely ignores that between 2019 and 2020 the absolute number of workers in agriculture increased from 2,200 million to 232 million, means 32 million increase, right? Depressing rural wages, a reversal of absolute fall in farm employment of 37 millions, okay, when non-farm jobs were growing at 7.5 million annually. The real wages were rising and number of poor falling. Rising from unemployment is a reversal of structural change underway until 2014. Finally, another dubious argument is offered to supplement the claim that organized formal unemployment is rising because new registration in employment provides provident fund rose in last 2 years. One limitation of EPFO based payroll data is the absence of data on unique existing contributor, right? Employees join, leave and then rejoin, leading to continuous revision of EPFO enrollment. Okay, this is a very big challenge, right? This is a very big challenge. Note it down, it will help you out. right? There has been a massive increase in joblessness in at least 10 million due to COVID-19 on top of 30 million already unemployed in 2019. This happened while CMI is reporting unemployment rate has fallen nearly to 43% in 2016, 37% in just 4 years. Poverty has already increased during pre-COVID time and increased further during post-COVID time by all estimates. Yes, it is true. Okay, the article is harsh, but article represents the truth. And yes, there is no V-shaped recovery. There are V-shaped recoveries in some of the sectors, but also there is a K-shaped recovery and another sector that needs more handholding, right? It is a very technical article, no need to go into technical things, just get the gist of the article that yes, this has decreased, yes, this has increased, okay, and why that thing has happened. You need to know this only, right? Don't go into so much detail, you will get confused. Okay, so let's see the next article, what it has to offer to us. Okay, text and context is not needed now today. Lapses, how teenager hacked big tech firms. Let's see the gist first. On March 22, authentication platform Okta confirmed that the hackers from the cybercrime group Lapsus has tried intruding into the system 3 months earlier. Lapsus is said to be based in South America and is led by two teenagers, a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old. The group is relatively new but has successfully breached major firms like Microsoft. It has also publicly taunted their victims, leaking their source code and internal document. Their hacking tactics include phone-based social engineering, SIM swapping to facilitate account takeover, okay, access personal emails account of employees at target organizations. Now this is important, everything else is irrelevant here. Who was targeted, why was targeted, no, how was targeted is important here, right? Okay, fine. So this paragraph, the last one, hacking tactics phone based. So what are the things? One is phone based, right? Social engineering, SIM swapping, okay, email, and add 2-3 points from the static knowledge, you will get a very good ready-made answer here for these things, right? So let's see the next thing. Okay, here we have nothing. Okay, nothing here about to see. Okay, India slips 115 press freedom rank. Press freedom index as usual. India's press freedom has gone down. The Press Club of India (PCI) and Indian Women Press Conference on Thursday said attacks on press freedom has seen an exponential rise, and that India did not fare too well on this regard, ranking 150 of 180 countries in World Press Freedom Index compiled by Reporters and Frontiers, means Reporter Without Borders, right? On World Press Freedom Day, PCI said journalist has been incarcerated under draconian law for flimsy reason and not for, and on some occasion faced threat to their life, as well as self-styled custodian of law in social media space. The freedom of press is integral to functioning of a vibrant democracy. Obviously it is. The media has to come together to reclaim the role towards realization of objective. Yes, this is true. But please, I request all the media houses to stop adding things like they do now. Means like, what will Putin do now? And there will be a nuclear strike anyway, anyhow, any soon, anytime. These kinds of sensational news people don't want. They want to listen the news, not sensational news, right? So make the news proper. And I think, in my opinion, that yes, the press freedom is very important for our democracy to function, and it is fault on your side also. The major fault is on government side, that they are not allowing, they are curbing the press freedom, but there is a fault on your side also, that you as media are not taking responsibility, right? Okay, let's move further. There is nothing out here, nothing here. So let's see the definition of anchor investor, right? So that this article, anchor investor, okay, qualified institutional investor. An anchor investor is a qualified institutional investor, okay. An anchor investor invests in an IPO, is initial investor who invests before IPO and before the IPO is made available to public. Typically, an anchor investor must make an application for at least 10 crores in IPO, right? So you understand now who is an anchor investor? He is a QII, qualified institutional investor, who invests in IPO, okay. Fair enough. So let's see what else is remaining. So this is the sports page. Okay, so with this we come to end of today's news analysis. Your homework is as usual, write down in comment box which article you will use in answer of which GS paper, right? You know I read each and every comment, so do comment to get things in better perspective, right? So with this I am ending today's news analysis. Okay. So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also, keep studying hard, keep following your dreams and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.